Castro, your host for Arts Alive, and we're here in this fabulous new basketball court that's been designed and put together, in part at least, by students from the Talbot Middle School in Fall River, Mass. And Ashley Okino is here with me. She runs the New Bedford Art Museum in New Bedford. You are the director, is what I should say, the director of the Art Museum, right? So, welcome to Fall River. I know you've been here for a while working on this, but welcome again.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm excited. When we first started our Creative Courts project, which began in New Bedford in July 2019, and then in October we began our project here in Fall River as an extension of our Creative Courts project. Right. And so we have been working with lead artist Maria Maltini, and she came back again and she worked with a lot of students here at Talbot directly as part of the engagement and inspiration behind this court.
Now we're in early 2020 as we're kicking off this show for the as part of our New Year January presentation. So tell us a little bit about the design and representation and so forth as we sort of move around the court a little bit.
Sure. So what you see here on the court behind us is, I would say Maria definitely has a palette that is her own, that she uses as an artist. And so we see those bright, bold colors that really uplift the spirit. And in terms of spirit and thinking of things like that, what Maria did with part of her engagement here with students at Talbot, working with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, was talking about the idea of team spirit versus mascot, logo, and branding, and how they mean different things. And so she did a few different workshops with them where they talked about that, and really it came down to what is the spirit of team and what is the culture of a team. And so what the children did was they had the opportunity to design their own courts. And so Maria pinned them all up and took a look at them and pulled inspiration from a lot of them. And so you'll see a lot of the things that the children talked about, which was these circle shapes, eyeballs and snakes and different things like that. And we also see across the court some of the things that they're learning in school. So right now they're learning about the color wheel. And so at Center Court,
how great is that?
We have a beautiful color wheel going on.
And some others on a smaller scale of color
all around
choice.
Here. All around here, we see these beautiful, primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors happening across the court. And so students obviously were not only excited to have Maria, they were excited to have this court happen.
Oh my God, I should say.
Have to give a huge shout out to the school here and to the city of Fall River for putting down a brand new, beautiful court.
And
shout out to True Bounce.
Is it Brian Raposa,
Brian
the principal?
Raposa is the principal here. And the New Bedford Art Museum Artworks came to Fall River saying, where can we put a new creative court? Brian and Talbot were right on board from the beginning.
Beautiful.
And I have to just say thank you to them for putting the court and for True Bounce for putting up 2 brand new nets.
Brand new,
And I mean, before we even showed up with this, students from the neighborhoods all over were coming to use this brand new, beautiful
isn't
court.
That nice? Yeah.
And then when they saw the color coming down, Maria was saying on the weekends when she was working, students would just be coming from the neighborhood. So it was really wonderful to have lots of different layers of engagement with the kids here in Fall River through class and on the weekends.
It's a really, really, really wonderful process that the fact that she uses, as I learned when we talked about the New Bedford Court, so much engagement from the community, from the school, from the students. It's just a real buy-in, which is so important to make a success of something.
The students at Talbot, they own this court. This is their court.
That's it.
It absolutely is. And we're lucky we get to hang out on it right now.
Yeah, really, we are. We won't be too many times we can probably walk on it in this way,
Yeah, and where nobody else is out here using it.
Any idea on the eyes? Did she talk at all about any of the symbols? Or
we see some of the eyes right here. They're kind of looking out towards the court there. Right. But it was one of the things that she saw repeated in their design.
Oh, okay.
So she found, as she took all the different courts that the children had done during class and pinned them up on the bulletin board and looked at them, there were just some themes that just came back again and again and again.
Right,
and that was really interesting for her.
The sun is another one I see.
The sun's something else that we see. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And so, with working with the students here at Talbot, this is a very big population of ESL students, and so that was something that was really interesting in talking about the idea of a mascot and a theme and a brand and a spirit, and finding out from each child, like, what represents you?
What does it all mean to you?
And what does it mean to you?
Right, yeah.
And so to really kind of just see some of these unique things.
And for some, depending on the country of their origin that they're from, this may be something new. Basketball may not be part of their soccer, may be more of their cultural heritage than, for instance, in a basketball.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I was actually very surprised. Maria and I learned together in one of the classroom visits that I believe that they said, I'm sorry if I get this wrong, but I believe it was Puerto Rico, where they said, actually, we have a lot of stuff like this, where we have it on surfaces that you would not think to put murals on.
Right,
and we were actually kind of surprised, like, oh, we didn't know about all those.
Yeah.
So we got an education from the students too.
Well, I know in Cuba,
process.
even in downtown Miami, in what they call Little Cuba in Miami, Florida, they have a lot of murals.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of murals in the Latino
more.
Cultures. Yeah.
We're seeing more happen.
Yeah.
We're seeing projects like this actually pop up around Providence now. There's just the basketball court, that's part of why the museum chose it.
Yeah.
There's something really unique about activating a surface that's already engaged with by people, but it really brings a different audience out to it once you not only involve the community, but once you colors, as I said from the very beginning when we started.
Definitely.
How could you not feel drawn to want to be on the surface?
Colors and shapes.
Yeah.
Make such a difference.
I will say though that the artist did really have a bit of a challenge with this weather. In October.
I know.
We
It's
wanted
been
to
difficult.
give time for students to settle in school before coming out here to deliver this project here. But yeah, it's been a huge struggle. And look at the wind. Look at it took down the lighting for the court.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the funding, Ashley, of
this project. Sure.
Of the project, where the funds came from, which I think is very important to note.
I would love to give credit
Without
where
that,
credit
we
is
don't
due.
have any of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Creative Courts is part of an initiative called the Creative Commonwealth. So hashtag Creative Courts, hashtag Creative Commonwealth.
Nice.
And the Creative Commonwealth, that funding is overseen by the Community Foundation of Southeastern Massachusetts. And so Southeastern Massachusetts means not just New Bedford, where the museum is, but also Fall River, where we are right here today. So I have to thank the Community Foundation very much for believing in this project and funding it. And I also want to thank one of our community partners as well, Superflat, which is another nonprofit out of New Bedford. And they've really been great partners in supporting this project for us in the way that we love to support them as well.
Right. So I'm very happy to be here now with Maria Maltini, and we're talking about the fabulous basketball court here at the Talbot Middle School in Fall River. That she was, what should I call you? You're the artist behind the court. Is that?
Yeah, well, I'm the lead artist on this court, but I'm also the team captain of the New Craft Artists in Action, my art collective, the NCAA.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? I love that. Artists in Action.
Yeah, the New Craft Artists in Action, and we paint basketball courts and make a lot of other work about the intersections of craft and athletics and public space. So we do it together, but I'm kind of I'm the team captain.
Well, I like that title too. Team captain is nice. Yeah, the idea of a team that makes this happen. So how did you get involved how did you sort of segue into that particular area of things like public space things and courts?
Well, I played basketball for about 10 years as a kid, and basketball was like a big part of my family culture and my social culture. So I just make a lot of work about it now because I always felt kind of conflicted as a kid, like I'm an artist and an athlete. Do we have to choose? And as an adult, I do a lot of teaching artist work. I work a lot with youth through my own projects, and I find that they find themselves having to assert an identity as one or the other oftentimes. And so I like to try and show them that you can actually be both of those things and they inform one another. And one reason I really like public courts and athletics in public spaces is because anyone can play, anyone can be involved. It's not just about spectatorship. We talk a lot about participation versus spectatorship. So it's like, how can we play the sports and get involved and learn from each other, even if we're really, really good or we're just beginning? And it's not always about like sitting on your butt and watching TV and buying things. Yeah.
No, exactly. I love the idea that it's a piece of art that you can actually work with.
Yes, exactly. And I love making work that people actually use and get involved in and like put their bodies in. It's just really exciting
And where do you call home?
I live in Boston, and I've lived in Boston for 17 years, but I really do call all of Massachusetts home because I make art all over the state, and I'm really interested in a lot of the local histories, and particularly the fact that basketball was invented in in Massachusetts, and so we have a rich history with basketball here.
So why not literally play with that, right?
Exactly, yes.
So hopefully you'll be back, Maria, and we'll see more from you and more of your various pieces of public art.
Yes, exactly. I hope you do. I hope to do many more.
Thank you.
So I wanted to get today started very quickly by saying welcome and hello to everyone that has been an essential part of this planning for our creative court here at Talbot. So I'm on a really cool board with John Vasconcelos, wave John, and our job in the Community Foundation is really to infuse arts into our cities in both Fall River and New Bedford. So one of my big dreams is to really bring more art to our kids, and so what a great way to do it, to sort of juxtapose the arts with sports. I love art, I love sports, those of you who know me know that, and so I wanted to introduce to you one of the people super important in the making of this thing, Ashley Okino from the New Bedford Art Museum. Come on over, Ashley. Thank you so much. So my name is Ashley Okino, and I am the executive director at New Bedford Art Museum Artworks, and we are just beyond ecstatic to have this court, not just the mural, but the court here itself. Like, how cool is that there's a brand new court here for you guys all to use and for the neighborhood and everyone in here, Fall River, to access. And we couldn't have done it without, of course, the Community Foundation of Southeastern Massachusetts and also another organization out of New Bedford called Superflat. And so I have to give a huge shout out to them. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. So Creative Courts, this is actually the 5th court done by Maria Molteni, but this is the 2nd court done by New Bedford Art Museum. Our very first court was actually accomplished this past July in New Bedford, about a mile from the museum at Klasky Common Park. It's a beautiful, beautiful mural, and if you haven't gotten a chance to see it, I encourage you to take a trip out to New Bedford, not too far. And within that mural, we see Maria's signature touch, we see her colors, and we see how her engagement with the neighborhood and with the kids, also through the museum's Artmobile program, brought forth some really fun design and some interesting ways about communication. And so same thing here when she came to Talbot, and I want to just thank you so much, Linda, for letting us into your classroom and letting us engage your students and work with them to really inspire some brainstorming around this court. And so Maria had the opportunity to go into the classroom and work with the students, and she really treasured all of the different sketches and ideas that you provided her. And so she incorporated a lot of your ideas onto the court that we see behind us here today. So thank you so much for doing that. And of course, all the students that she worked with after school as well, and everyone else, thank you for giving your time and your creativity. It's really appreciated, and I hope you had a good time and fun while doing it. And so, as we get ready to officially launch this court, it took a little while to do during the fall. In July, we battled a heat wave, and during the month of October, we battled wind and rain, but you know, an artist can be capable and flexible and get things done, and so I think they did an outstanding job here. And I also want to just give a shout out to True Bounce. They are a backboard company out of the South Coast, and they have provided backboards and nets and hoops to not only Klasky Common, but here again at Talbot Middle School. So I just wanted to thank them for doing that. And speaking of Talbot Middle School, thank you. Thank you so much, Talbot, for letting us come to your school and engage with your students, and for your staff's time as well. You have just been a wonderful collaborative partner, and I hope that this doesn't end here. I'd like our friendship to continue beyond this, because you've just been absolutely a dream to work with, so thank you. And so I've said a little bit about the court, but really I think that the person who can best speak about the court and working here in Fall River is actually the lead artist, Maria Maltini. So Maria, do you want to come up and say a few words?
We finished the court, a few weeks ago, and before we started it, we came and met with some of the drawing class, or some of the art classes, and made a bunch of drawings of basketball courts and did some brainstorming about what our dream mascots would be, and sort of the difference between a mascot and like a brand for your team, like how the mascot is kind of represents the spirit of the team, and how we can think more about the spirit and creativity behind art making and athletics. So all of the awesome, very, very talented art students we worked with made some drawings, and there were a lot of recurring images and themes. There were a lot of like circles, eyeballs, planets, basketballs, flowers, all these really great forms. So my team and I of adult professional artists, we incorporated all of that imagery into a final design that we painted as students came and gave us feedback and suggestions and encouragement. And we're hoping that the court will inspire you to create new games using some of those shapes, which I've already heard some cool ideas for, like, oh, shoot from the flower, it's 25 points. Shoot from Saturn, it's 30. So I just hope that it encourages you to be more creative, and use it as a creative tool here at your school. I hope y'all aren't too cold over there. I'm glad it's a little warmer today. It was pretty cold while we were painting the court, so it was a little crazy. But I just want to thank so much the amazing art teachers and the principal and everyone who's come out and helped photograph and encourage us and make space for us, because it's just been so awesome, and I'm really proud of you guys, and I really hope that the court serves you, that you have a lot of fun on it.
Guys, I'll be brief. I'm Brian Raposa, the principal here. We really do have the best kids in the city, so we certainly appreciate all the love for Talbot. We want to thank, the superintendent, his staff, as well as the school committee for supporting this project and doing some work on their end to make this possible. And then, of course, the artists who really did battle the weather. They were here on the weekends. They were here late at night, and our facilities crew really did an awesome job accommodating them so they could get this done in time. So I'll just have Superintendent Malone maybe come up and say a few words.
All right. We obviously have the toughest students in the city. It is freezing out. This is Green Beret training. You guys are getting ready. I love it. This is going to be the new gym class. Cold makes you feel good, right? All right. Let me just say a couple quick things. The Talbot Middle School anchors the Flint. The Flint is the neighborhood that we're in. The elementary schools in this neighborhood funnel into this middle school, and this middle school is a school on the move. Right now, we've invested in a brand new gym. We have now this beautiful outdoor court. What we have coming next is we're going to be doing the exterior. We're going to do a whole bunch of work partnering with the city to ensure drainage is appropriate, and then we're going to redeck the entire parking area. And our team is led by Ken Pacheco, is going to be putting a whole new front entranceway to this building. We're now going to be entering on this side. We're going to have a beautiful new investments in your classrooms. We're putting technology in. We want to thank the members of our school committee here, represented today by Mr. Corey, who grew up in this neighborhood. And a guy that grows up in this neighborhood is never going to let you down. So over the next couple of years, you're going to see great investments in Talbot. Talbot's going to be the #1 middle school in the city of Fall River, the #1 middle school in the state of Massachusetts. And guess who's going to do that? You, and you, and you, and all you in the back, all right? So let's just stay committed, let's stay fired up, let's stay working hard. I got great adults working with you every single day. We want to thank our community partners, not only the artists and community foundations, but the entirety of the whole neighborhood for making sure that that this school continues to be first and foremost in our thoughts. Thank our music directors, our arts director and our music directors, our artists, our finance people, but most importantly, someone that never gets thanked is Ken Pacheco. Here we go, Talbot. Here we go. Great job. Great job. Thank you.
And this particular song is about people seeking connection in the world and validation. And anybody that's written a song or created a piece of artwork can probably relate to this song. Now in this world there are disappointments so many times we feel alone. Oh, and that's the reason we play our music. Oh, and write these songs that will soothe the weary soul. Now sometimes I think I found some answers, found that musical path down the freedom road. But my dreams won't come true. Oh, this world is far too blue, and nobody's covered my songs. Nobody's covered my songs. Can't seem to get enough people to sing along. My dreams won't come true. Oh, this world is far too blue, and nobody's covered my songs. Not yet. Now I don't want fame or fortune. Oh, and I don't need adoring crowds. All I want, oh, is someone to listen and hear the hope, pain, and love in my sound. So after I'm gone, my songs might stick around. So how will I ever know if I'm made it? And how can I be sure you'll know my tunes? I'll know my dreams came true, or this world will be less blue. Baby, when you cover my songs, that's right. Baby, when you cover my songs and get Joni, Bruce, and Woody to sing along, my dreams will come true. Oh, this world will be less blue. Baby, when you cover my songs. Still searching for that magic in my lyrical rhyme. Such a long, long road, and I'm running out of time. My dreams won't come true. Oh, this world is far too blue, and nobody's covered my songs. Now I don't want fame or fortune, oh, and I don't need adoring crowds, 'cause all I want is someone to listen and hear the hope, pain, and love in my sound. So after I'm gone, my songs might stick around. So how will I ever know if I made it? And how can I be sure you'll know my tunes? I'll know my dreams came true, or this world will be less blue. Baby, when you cover my songs. Baby, when you cover my songs and get Joni, Bruce, and Woody to sing along, my dreams will come true, or this world will be less blue. Baby, when you cover my songs, that's all it takes now. Baby, when you cover my song. Thank you.